isn't, to the best of my understanding, that isn't going to happen again. That the short that occurred and that was just described is not going to happen again, either because we're going to replace the generator with permanent transformers, in which case it'll work like the other ones. But I assure you,
let me just answer
there's
that
no
question
risk,
for a
there's
second.
no danger.
That's why we're going to, that's a very real concern. We don't like it when people are stuck in elevators. Well, the explosion's not a real risk, but getting stuck in an elevator with a generator power that's failing is a real risk. If we put in 2 transformers, we have redundant power. If one fails, the other will work. There's not going to be any risk of anybody getting stuck in an elevator. That having been said, we are going to work on getting the generator up, as well as getting the transformers up concurrently, so that we will have power, whichever one happens faster.
Can you update the website periodically? It's like a day behind.
Sure, we can do that.
Can I just say something? Again, I understand the work that they've got to do downstairs, and they're really, I mean, I spoke to the guys, they're really trying their best, and they're bringing a lot of resources, and they're going to do it. The reality is you can only do so much so fast, right? And the more you push them to do things, then there is more chance that somebody makes a mistake, perhaps, which is what happened in the first place, because there's so much pressure on them. And it's just a big job. To put in 2 transformers is not a small work. And so I would just assume that it's not going to be very comfortable again for another 24 hours, and let them get on with doing that work. And so once they put the transformers in and they do a proper job, you'll be okay. Right, this generator, hooking up a generator to a building like this is not great under any circumstances, and particularly the way it had to be done under so much pressure and everything else. So, you know, it's just it's like having a tooth out. It takes a certain amount of time to do it, and it has to be done properly. So I would just accept that there's going to be a certain degree.
I have a question about last night then. Generator goes out once, fixed. Goes out twice, fixed. With the snowstorm and it being, you know, it's gone out twice, why would there be a message that says it's safe to come back if you knew there was a chance that it would go out a 3rd time?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know it could go out a 3rd time.
But it went out twice.
I have a question, sorry. Now we are at the situation as it is. We came all back, and what I'm asking, if it's possible to have a reasonable time frame, because we're not living alone, of course, in our houses. And of course, if you have to move out again to the hotel, and you perfectly know the rates that the hotel are charging now post-storm, it's going to be a budget impact. So I prefer to know in advance. I think that if we know at least, okay, we have to work quietly to make the things done, you have to stay out. Not let us in, maybe tonight is on, and then we have to move out again. I prefer to be clear in the beginning, and then have my plan, and I also plan my budget. And if I may, a second thing, so you can respond to both, because your colleagues, they are taking notes. It would be great, because I think the lack of communication was real, to post the minute of what we are discussing here, because we are not all together. So I think it would be useful that what is being discussed and said here would be spread towards all the tenants in the tower.
One simple thing you can do, you have a bathroom in the leasing office, I just use it. Keep your leasing office open until you have everything.
They wouldn't let me use it.
Yeah, no, but I mean, this is something.
What about the health club?
We're going to open up the health club.
24 hours?
When will that start, please?
When can we go? Now.
So, access, we just walk in there? We
Yeah.
just
It's open now?
Walk into the health club?
Yeah.
And what about access to power sockets to plug
Well,
to charge
we're going
cell
to work on
phones?
to get that done in the health club, right?
Will
Yeah.
it be open 24 hours?
Yeah.
People have to come and sit down here?
Yes.
So showers, and what about water for
There's-
drinking?
Well, there's water in the health club.
Okay, what about candles?
Well, also, with regard to water, I will see about supplying water here at the doorman station.
Seems reasonable.
I think that's very reasonable.
Candles, I think, are reasonable. Apparently, someone was telling me that they are really run down, so I just want backups, simple
I
backups.
appreciate that. I will secure water and candles. But
Also-
be careful with the candles.
Matches.
Yeah.
Peter matches also.
Okay.
Home Depot sells landfills for $25 that run on D batteries and can
Yeah.
really.
I have a question.
Batteries are hard to come by.
I bought 30 D batteries today. Most stores have
Mr.
them.
Ravitch for coming here this morning. I worked with
been
landowners
here
in New
all
York City
weekend.
for 35 years, and not many of them would have shown up at a meeting like this with a bunch of irritated tenants. And I really appreciate that. And
Yes,
it's a tough job, and
Don't be
you know,
silly, I've been here all weekend, but I cannot tell a lie, I did go home to sleep.
Yeah, well,
Peter and Hussein and Dio and about 40 men here have not slept in a week.
Yeah,
And,
that's
uh,
my concern,
some
that
of
they
them-
get properly
some of them-
compensated.
Some of them
Extra.
had their
That's my
homes.
concern.
No, I'm talking about the doormen and the maintenance men in here, you know,
That is true, yeah.
Get an extra
So
compensation.
one good news
From
is
the-
that
from
you
the
have is
Levin
you've got a
Cottage.
group of wonderful people here who work here.
That
on a
we
daily
know.
basis. Let me say,
I'm sorry, sir.
yeah, let me say, because you all have asked very good questions. As this day progresses, I said in the very beginning that I hope, Con Ed has said that they will deliver the transformers and they'll be hooked up by tonight. I don't blame you for being skeptical, I'm skeptical. We need a way of advising you almost on an hourly basis whether that's true or not, so you can make your decision
Exactly.
as to whether you want to take the risk and spend the night. I do know that the weather is warming up, so at least that is, freezing is not a risk at this point. That's the only thing that God has done that's been helpful in the last 10 days. And, but we will figure out, and we will post,
We're gonna do it, I mean, the problem is people don't have power, so they don't have access to our website. We'll figure out some way to have information here.
We'll either have a human being
Personally,
here.
can I speak for a second, just personally about communication? We don't always have information, and the information we're getting is being given to us by people who are working around the clock and trying to say the things that we wanna hear. So it's not always that reliable. So, and the other point about giving you hourly updates is that the delay in a 12-hour process could happen at any point in the 12-hour process. So they're working
It's
like
not easy to do it. I
it's-
mean, just to be real.
I just wanna, so they're working, tirelessly. In an hour 6, they look like they're on schedule. And then the hotel rooms are booked. I don't know what to say about that. If it were me, I would say the following thing. We are being advised by our experts, Cosentini and EJ Electric and Con Ed, that they think they can get it up in 12 hours. I would be skeptical about that, and I would make your arrangements for the night. That's the
Yep.
best thing I can say. I don't have any other information about that.
Could I ask one last question?
Please, Rachel.
Thank you, Peter.
I wanted
What?
to talk at one point, but Mr. Ravitch said me, so.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, sir. Sorry, Rich, I'll get to
So
you.
basically, it's just a matter of help is on the way, you do your best. The experts are saying that basically, yes, their solution is.
They're doing, I've been told that
They're
they
doing
know
what
they're
they
doing,
need
they're
to
doing
do.
their
So,
best,
okay.
and it's just
We
going to take
just
some time.
need to meet tomorrow, we're gonna make arrangement to live correctly, the best we can. Water will be here, tack, you are setting up the computer for all those gentlemen. We just need to be patient and come back
I'm
tomorrow.
setting
and
up
see
the
what-
computers. I
Unfortunately,
don't know yet how to get internet.
That's
in there,
patience,
'cause
right?
Yeah,
Our servers
unfortunately,
are in
that's the
here.
case.
Beg your pardon?
Over in the other building.
No, there's, we
We
have,
can't set up files from
Time
there.
out, sir. We have no internet on site, right? Because our servers are in the 30 building. We have the wireless, our servers are in the, so I will try to figure out how to get internet in that room. I cannot promise that. I can promise everything else.
Possible, Gordon?
You know,
What he's saying is true.
Peter,
But,
maybe
yeah.
you can, I don't know if you have like a higher up level, or Dick, if you do at Verizon, but if we could get a FiOS is working. So if we could get.
I'm gonna
somebody
call
to come-
FiOS as soon as this meeting breaks up. see
Yeah,
what I
and in
can
the
do.
lobbies in the other buildings too. That
But
would
if
be
you know
great.
Verizon like I know Verizon, they don't move.
So can I ask?
Yeah, no,
Can I ask my
Rachel's turn.
question?
It was Rachel's turn.
I just like
You
to
should
know.
turn the camera the other way. So
No, I'm not hiding it. I'm videotaping, so not hiding it. Thank you for pointing that out, Janet. I was wondering when you were going to issue the revised statement about not paying rent for staying here. So thank you so much for saying that we don't have to pay rent for the days that we weren't able to live here. This is not living here. This is standing in the lobby, angry, shivering. We slept for the generosity of 2 people with 2 kids in Building 20. We slept in their spare bedroom. And we stayed in the room not to disturb them. That is not living. We carried our pillows out there in the middle of a storm. This is no longer living, okay? So I would like to know when you're going to issue a revised statement about not paying rent at all for the month of November. Because I'm not going to pay it. My husband and I are not going to pay it at all.
Something we will discuss with the WTA.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to tell you now what our decision's going to be.
When will you be issuing that statement?
When we are all comfortably back here and we have a chance to deal with our insurance company and with all the other issues.
But Rachel, you're right, you're not gonna be paying rent for today.
Well,
No, in general, people have people have budgets. You know, we've spent $1,500 on hotels.
Newsletters, I think I've contributed, but not all of us are members of the WTA, so don't consider
Well,
them.
you have a right to be if you choose not to.